Art of the Deal by Donald Trump. Welcome to my channel. My name is Samuel and I want to make self-growth normal. If you want to make self-growth normal, because I don't want to do it alone, and who doesn't want to make self-growth normal, make sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and it helps with SEO and ranking and all this other stuff, and I really appreciate it because so much work goes into making these videos. A lot of work really goes into making these videos. So Trump has a foreword that was recorded for the audio version, I think in like 2017 or something like that, and it's kind of touching, honestly, even though these books are allegedly ghost written. I don't know how that's such a big deal. If it's like the difference between like a biography and an autobiography, okay, sure, there's some degree of like no honesty in it, but like, come on, it's not a rap song. Okay, so lots of people can really hate me for what I'm about to say. I hope they don't. I really am just trying to kind of separate the elephant from the room. But anyone who hates the president, they might enjoy the book. And I really do feel that way. You never know unless you give it a try. Pretend the Art of the Deal is just not Trump. Pretend it's just a completely different person. Because I don't know. I feel like it is. It's tricky to like listen to this audiobook and believe that it's the same person as the guy who is running the country today. He seems like a totally different person from who the book is about. Interestingly enough, in the foreword, he says that the stuff in this book is just as true today as it was 30 years ago. So I don't know. Maybe it's just not him. Maybe it's just the information in the book. Which is why I'm trying to tell you guys about this book. So he begins by saying that lots of people like to paint art on canvases, lots of people like to do it on brick and mortar, lots of people like to do it in tunnels, some people like to do it on themselves, some people like to do it on other people. A lot of people like to just write words. He likes to do deals. That's his art. He has this tendency, Donald Trump, in his books to, and I don't think I've heard this before, he says what he is doing and like what time he's doing it. Like, he keeps like a time log. He's like a solid time manager. And something else is that he doesn't just describe the people he meets and works with, but he also describes his, like when he introduces them in any of his books, really, he will very briefly describe his work relationship with them. Maybe he's just one of those people who is nothing in real life like what the general public expects of them to be, based on what the general public has seen on TV and heard about from multiple different media sources. Again, I don't know. I don't really focus on politics at all. I only find Trump fascinating as a business person. That's really it. His other book, Think Like a Billionaire, is the same. It has like this whole a week in the life of Donald Trump aspect to it. He talks about his insights from the experiences in these times. And like, I found it interesting that like, he makes a lot of grand decisions, grand moves, choices in this book, but like, they're not, his reasoning for these choices is not really what you'd expect. I'll tell you one thing. At the writing of the book, he definitely wasn't stupid. There's a lot of stuff, I mean, maybe I'm stupid, but there's a lot of stuff in this book that it was kind of tricky. It was a little bit more technical business stuff in here. He talks about his experience growing up and moving to Manhattan and his earlier real estate deals there. It's interesting how some of his projects, like smashing the like button if you haven't already, and the Trump Tower, and with the Atrium and the Grand Hotel, they are promoted by his alleged acting up through the media way more than his money. He never promotes his stuff with money. He just has people do it for him. He also says a lot of really quick, brief things on like, you know, for example, his perspective on people who take over their father's successful companies and how some of them are fit to do it, but some are not. And also the NFL's damage to the USFLs, which I didn't even know was a thing, and violating antitrust laws. I didn't know he was involved in football or sports at some point. But like a guy like his age, at his level of success, if you look at any guy like that, if you look at their history, chances are there's a lot of like different places that they've gone to. His experience with difficult contractors, especially with the super difficult odds of successfully rebuilding what's it called? The Wolf something's ice rink. This giant ice rink. He did it in less than 6 months. This guy really is a modern embodiment of the American dream. But his level of success, I mean, regardless of what party or his beliefs or whatever, he is the president. He has shot his way up to presidency somehow, some way, regardless of what it is. I mean,
The word president is the word president, so he is the president.
I mean, if he's a human, we are humans. There's nothing in the way of that. For us to be like, oh, we can't do something like that ourselves. Again, this is just trying to put everything about politics completely aside. I know that's difficult when anyone says the word president, but a lot of the pointers and things to keep in mind that he kind of shares throughout the book, they make you realize that it's possible. Sometimes the sheer difference between success and failure is just persistence. A lot of the time, to get just a little ahead of everybody else, you need to make claims that are just a bit exaggerated, and you need to do what you can to meet them. Bureaucracy is not cool, no one likes it, and it's just not the most efficient way of doing things. Those are some of the takeaways that I got from this book. I just think there is a lot to this man that so many of us ignore, because a lot of us tend to ignore the difference between business and politics, and I guess I could see why, and there's something to me that's very unfortunate about that. Maybe that's just me. All of this is just my opinion. I know some people who watch my videos are probably very on one side or the other. This is business. I don't want to talk about politics here, but here are the quotes of the book. Sometimes it pays to be a little wild. You want your best customers to feel special. Skyscrapers are a machine for making money. You don't have to be a genius to run a monopoly. In the end, you're measured not by how much you undertake, but how much you accomplish. Direction 1. I recommend this book for anyone who thinks that they know everything there is to know about the president. That, or anyone who's going into real estate or project management, or just any business in general, but I feel like in those two particularly, there's a lot to gain in this book. Direction 2. If you like this book, I think that you'd probably Think Like a Billionaire by Trump as well, about his view of a billionaire mindset. Art of the Deal by Donald J. Trump. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check it out and read the reviews. That and all the other books that I mentioned in this video as well. If there are any other books that you guys want me to check out and review, please let me know in the comments below. Also let me know if you checked out this book and you liked it. But hey, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you could turn on that little bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You can find me everywhere, and I will see you then.